All right. Well, pretty excited about the finish to our regular season, going undefeated in the Mountain West Conference. That was a goal of ours that we checked off this last weekend. Really excited about the conference tournament this week at home, where we're got the number one seed and the first round bye in the conference tournament. Kind of fun to have some awards today. That we got the offensive player of the year in Megan Gerardo, the defensive player of the year in Haley Palmer. And 5 total first-team players. So just pretty excited about the year, but excited to start the next chapter of our season with the postseason conference tournament this weekend, and then hopefully into the NC2As after that.
Talk about the tourney itself. Obviously, it's kind of a reset, in terms of playing, but what are you looking at in terms of your competition there?
Soccer's a funny game. To go through the regular season undefeated was, I think, a feat in itself. Just you can dominate a game and still lose. And I think, the interesting thing about a conference tournament is that everybody has new life now. And so we anticipate that everybody coming here this week is going to bring their absolute best. And so we're going to have to be prepared for that. I think it's something we're looking at, obviously checking off another box on our goals to win the Mountain West tournament. But also as preparation for the NCAA tournament, where it's you win or you go home, and so we're looking forward to kind of practicing that as well as looking to win the championship. But we expect that it's going to be a battle.
And can you talk about having both the offensive and defensive conference players of the year?
Makes me sleep a little better at night knowing I have some players like that to help win games. But the reality of these awards. Is without their teammates, they're not going to win those awards. There's certainly special players that have had great years. As I look down the list of all the all-conference stuff, I'm just excited to have the team I have. And, there's so many players on our roster that could really be in that same role. But it's pretty special that we were recognized to have both those players. I think that says a lot about the work they've put in, and all these awards, and even our season is not just about the last 3 months of the work that's been put in, but years and years of preparation for those players and the team and staff and all those things. So it's pretty exciting to have both of those. But we also understand those awards are only possible because of our success on the field as a team.
How does it feel to be named Coach of the Year?
It's an honor. And again, I think that's something it's not just me. It's my staff. I can't explain to you how grateful I am to have the staff I have this year. All of them have brought something different and unique. Wampa brings an expertise in some of the sports psych stuff, and Chris is just so energetic, and Tammy is just willing to do anything we ask of her and just really fill in any of the gaps. And so I think just from a staff perspective, it's exciting that we've had the success, and on top of all that, as we talked about this morning, or I talked about with them this morning, it's been a great year, just a fun year. They're a great staff to be around. So it's exciting just that we're being recognized for that. But again, it's a team award. None of that's possible without the players and the work they've put in and the results that they've had on the field. That's the only way those awards come.
As the stars have aligned, you get to play this tournament on your home field. Things to look forward to or be wary of? Certainly, sure you'd like to have the show.
Absolutely, yeah. We definitely would love to see as many people come out and support us as possible, make just a fun environment, and it's fun to be at home. And we've been dominant at home. That's been one of our goals as well, is to be dominant here, and we're 10-0 on our home field. So that certainly, sets us up to feel comfortable in the environment. I think one of the things that's going to help us this week is to have the experience of hosting 2 years ago, and I think it was a change for us, because normally you pack up and leave and go somewhere, and you have that experience of just being isolated as a team. And so we have some distractions here as well, in that all their friends and families and all those things are happening right here, and they're going to class. And but we're really feel like this is kind of our year. And we're confident in our ability, and especially here at home. So it's got some pitfalls for sure that can be there, but I think this team has done a really good job of focusing on the next thing, the process, and those things that will really, put us in a position to win games. And like I said, soccer's a funny game. You can dominate and lose, but we've just had a really good season of being focused every game. They've brought their energy and their competitive nature in every game. I've not had to coach that, which makes it really enjoyable for me.
And as a head coach, how do you kind of eliminate those distractions with this tournament being here at home?
I don't think you ever eliminate them because those are just things that are in their lives. But I think just managing them and really practicing that throughout the course of the season, and looking at as we did our goal setting and set up our process to really focus on the things that are bringing value to our team. And that's the number one thing for us is, we ask them to check those boxes off as they make decisions in their lives outside of, when they're here with us is, does it add value to themselves and does it add value to the team? And if the answer is yes for both of those, go for it. And if it's no to one of those, then don't do it. And so it's going to take some discipline from them, but they've shown that over the year. We're a pretty mature team. But they're going to be tested. And like I said, it's a good test this weekend to prepare for the NCAA tournament where we're hoping that we'll host some games there as well. And they're going to have to deal with those same distractions.
You talked about checking off the boxes. What was that last box?
The last one last week was to go undefeated in the Mountain West, go 7-0.
What was the last box?
Oh, the final box of the season? Well, the big goal we've had, which is about to be revisited, is to get to at least the Elite Eight. And so we'll revisit that next week after we finish this portion of our season and look at really where we're at. I think when we started the season, if you looked at our team, and that was a good goal for us. But at this point, with the success we've had in the season, I think we've got to dream a little bit. And there's a long ways to go still, and a lot of soccer to be played, and a lot of things would still have to happen. We'd have to play exceptionally well because we're going to see some fantastic teams in the NCAA tournament. But we want to dream, and we want to be in a position where we're not limiting ourselves or putting any glass ceilings on ourselves going into that next phase of our season.
What's the biggest thing you've learned this year for coaching a successful team compared to last year's? And is it something that you'll instill in future teams now that you know it's successful? Or
that's a very good question because I don't know that there's a great answer to it in that there's no real formula for success every time. We could do the same thing next year and not have quite the same success. So it's really about reading the group and the maturity of the group, and I think that's the things I've learned as a head coach, in my first 6 years is reading where to start with the team and where, what not to bypass. I think I've made mistakes in the past where I've started too far down the road with a group, and they've been a little too immature for that. But probably the big thing I'm taking away from this is to be patient and allow our team to play within themselves. And this group has been really, really fun to coach. Like I said before, I haven't had to coach effort. And so, when the group can do that, it makes my job a lot easier to just put them in good positions to win games and believe in them. And I think that's the thing that's changing in our program is we've developed a culture here now that is expecting to go and do things much bigger than we have in the past 10 years. We're expecting to be a very good team, day in and day out, whether those bring some disappointments along the way or not, but just to stay focused on the process. And I think we've established that culture. It's going to be my job to help maintain that culture, as well as the players that are in the program that are going to remain for the future the next few years here.
Coach, you play at UNLV or Fresno State. Do you have a preference, and what challenges does each present?
I have no preference. They both present some challenges. We play both of them at their places. I think that'll be a little bit different to play them here. Both games, we gave up early goals to them and had to fight our way back. I think that's certainly something we don't want to do again. Each team's a little bit different. Fresno State has a player up top that's pretty dangerous, and she got in behind us a couple times. She's fast. She's athletic. They sat back on us quite a bit in their own half and then just tried to play counterattack on us. So we had to be good and break them down. I think on our field being about 10 yards wider than their field, it'll give us a little more space to do that. UNLV has some special players on the ball that create some problems. They're very good on set pieces, and that's how they got their goal. So they each kind of bring a little something different, but I don't really have a preference. I think, again, it's about us and what kind of performance we can put together, and I feel like there's really nobody that we're going to play that if we play our best, we're not going to be able to have some really good chances and have the ability to win those games. Whether that happens or not, it's a different story, but we feel like we're a very good team. If we focus on ourselves and play our best, we have a great shot at winning.
Could you talk about the psychology of going undefeated? It's very rare that teams do that.
I'll tell you that Friday's game was very tough for us because as much as we had a lot to play for in terms of the future and the NCAA tournament and RPI and all those things, the reality of the game within the conference that it didn't have much meaning as far as nobody could bypass each other. We'd already clinched the conference championship. So New Mexico came in kind of with that mentality as well, and I thought the game was a little bit boring in the first half for my own liking, just in that we played well, but there was not a lot of passion in there. And that's something we challenged them at halftime, was to go and play with more passion and have some urgency to win this. And there is things that we're playing for still, and to check off that last box in the conference. So it is difficult because it's hard to manage those emotions after you've already clinched the championship and kind of set yourself up in the 1 seed. So those things, I think, really create challenges. In the Mountain West Conference, I think there's always a challenge to go play at altitude, go play on environments that are difficult. We played it in Bulldog Stadium on turf on a 65-yard wide field on an 85-degree day. So there's always something that's going on there. So to go undefeated just really shows the focus and determination of the group, and I think they've done a really good job of doing that. That does separate this team from just winning it to do the undefeated season.
Coach, can you give us a little insight about how you guys set your goals and how the boxes came to be?
Well, that's all player driven. I think one of the things that we've done with this team this year differently than the past is this is the first time since I've been the head coach I felt the team is mature enough to really set their own course. And when I came in, I felt like there are things that need to be changed, and it was really guided and directed by me. So from day one, we allowed them to take our mission statement, blow it up, completely change it, do whatever they wanted to it. And so they rewrote that and tweaked it and had it memorized the next day. And so that was the beginning of them kind of taking ownership of this team. And so when we went through the goal setting process, we started with academics and then the social settings, and then finally the athletic part to teach them a little bit about goal setting. But as we got to that, we wanted them to push themselves and get beyond things that they were comfortable in achieving. But the reality of it is it's very little about the end outcomes. It was more process-driven, and asking them what did they feel like put them in the best position to win games. And it was about how we train, how we treat each other, all those things. So the goal setting really comes back to the process, which I've referred to week in and week out. But it's really all player-driven. It was what they wanted to do and what they wanted to accomplish. And, of course, those are, after years of me grinding on them a little bit about what we want to do, that's kind of instilled that culture.